Hi, it's Malcolm here and welcome to another TTS Plus, Pas or price alert system and Greyhorse Bot video all in one, would you believe? Okay, today we're going to talk about the new test I'm doing on the Pas selections, which is the price alert system or software selections, and the results so far and how to set it up in the Greyhorse Bot if that's something that you want to try doing. So we'll talk about the results we may as well first of all. You can see the bot. The bot's showing a 9p profit. Now the reason for that is I actually started the bot the day before that I wanted to start the selections from, but I didn't start it at the beginning of the day. I started it late in the day. And so basically I don't want to show those parts of the selections because that wasn't, I wanted a clean slate from the next day. So basically it's the 13th onwards, and that's all the results I'm going to show from now on. But we are showing profit, whereas if we go from the 13th we're not, and I'll show you that in the spreadsheet, which I will share with everybody sooner or later. So basically this is the spreadsheet from the bot, basically based on the 13th and the 14th, so really nothing to go on at the moment really, but we started talking about it, so I thought I'd do a quick video about the selection. So as you can see, we've actually lost money at the moment, and partly that was because we had 3 losers in a row. I'm using this recovery staking plan at the moment, which basically adds your original stake to your next stake. So I don't know why that wasn't 90 whatever it should be, 94 or whatever. I think what happens is as because I'm also using 1% of the bank, as the bank value drops, then the stake value drops. So it kind of it messes a little bit with the recovery staking as well. You should really use a fixed stake and then put it up every so often, but I'm just playing around at it. And so when we did win, we won at a price, this price here of 1.29 or 0.29 if you take the 1 off. So we didn't recover hardly anything from our recovery staking, and that's the problem with doing recovery staking on low price selections. It doesn't generally work very well unless, but what happens is you sometimes get enough winners in a row to make it worthwhile. But anyway, I'm going to look at that gradually as we go along. Now, taking all the selections, now I take the price 10 seconds before the off. That's when the bot goes in and starts placing the bet. We've had 12 winners and 8 losers. So it's roughly in the 60 odd % range for winners at the moment. But you know, who's going to tell? The interesting thing though about this is that if you get rid of selections that are over 2 or kind of, yeah, but basically over 2, so you can see I kind of marked them here, which is this column here, I think 2, 2, 2. In fact, I'll take you to another sheet where I took the 2s out altogether. So basically we're left with just any runner that had a price of under 2 10 seconds before the off, and you can see that it's made a hell of a lot of difference just at level staking. You know, we're actually, that's probably, I just took the price. If you take into account some commission, that's probably nearer £4 or just over £4. But yeah, basically it's more profitable at the moment doing it that way, less selections. So you know, that wouldn't have been a bad couple of days, 4 points profit. So that's the way I'm going to look at this from now on. I'm still going to let the bot look at all the selections at the moment while I try and figure out the best way to do it. But you can see that at the moment it is showing that if you stick to under 2s, you get a lot more winners and not too many losers. But you know, we can't really tell that at the moment, but I just wanted to show you that part of it. Okay, so let's go to TTS and I'll show you how to set this up. Okay, so sorry TTS is a little bit squashed, but I've not got a great size window to play around in. In fact, I shouldn't have done that. But okay, so basically what we're going to do is there's 3 things that you need to do in TTS. One is turn this to place. The price movement goes from 5. Sorry, you probably can't see that outside the screen, but it's 5 to 10 there. And arrows over here, we take 1 to 3. And then if we submit, those will highlight and you can see that we've used them. Then what we would do is take the bot link. Now, basically you can take that, and I'll show you how to put it into the Greyhorse Bot and set up the Greyhorse Bot now. So we go over and do that. Okay, so the first thing we want to talk about is obviously settings. So if we go to options, now these are my settings. Obviously, whatever you want to do, you can do. If you want to play around with it, that's up to you. But I haven't done any stop at profit, and that's the other thing I am looking at, is whether you can just stop every day with a bit of profit, and then that gradually adds up over time. And trade growth spreadsheet, then you'll know that I'm into kind of building stakes slowly over time. And I've even got like a 52-week plan where you just try and make a point a week. In fact, I could show you that if you want while we're here. I'll just get the spreadsheet up. So this has been mine so far. I started small because again I want to show people what it's like and how it works. But if we concentrate on this one, so I started with a stake of £1.50. So we got the dashboard, and you can see that we started with £100. If we just put 1% of our stake in there, okay, now we're going to compound 10%. Now that means after every target is met, we will take 10% of our profit and add it onto the next stake. And in this case we're using weekly, but normally I talk about targets as targets whenever you hit them. Our target profit is obviously 100% or 1 point, whatever that might be. Okay, so if we started with £1, we want to try and make £1 in that week. We'll call these weeks rather than targets if you want, just for this video. And you can see that this is 10%, which means if we make that target, we then take 10% of it and add it onto our next stake for our next target, and carry on like that. And then on this side you can put all your trades and how they add up, and add up your targets. Now whether I go over the target or not, well, if I go over the target, I still only use 10% of what this should be. I'm kind of ignoring what extra I make, because that just adds to the bank, and means that if you do have a week where you didn't quite make profit, or you lost, you could still theoretically use it, because you'd have covered it with the extra profit that you made and you didn't count. But if you want to do this quicker, then obviously you either do more a week or add 10% of your complete winnings and that kind of thing. There's a few ways you can play it. But if we just started with £1 and we went to 52 weeks, and you can see there at the end of 52 weeks, now this doesn't seem a lot of money, but you can't, unless you go and start a business, there isn't any other way, investment, where you can make that kind of money in a short amount of time, because it just doesn't work that way. But we're compounding weekly, or sometimes daily if you like, but weekly we're compounding 10%, where you don't, you wouldn't get that anywhere else. And I'm not saying that this is a perfect system. I mean, you're going to have losing weeks probably and things like that, so it's not going to be perfect all the time, but it's kind of give you an idea, and then you can play on that idea. I mean, if you're starting and you've got a lot more bank, and and you don't mind putting £10 stakes on, so let's just put that for 10% just to show you, and you prefer, then it becomes a completely different thing after 52 weeks. But I prefer to show people, straight from small stakes, because most people start with small stakes and gradually build up and then go from there. So that's the way I like to show it. So that's how basically the spreadsheet works. It shows you how to increase your stakes after every target and what to do. And I mean, you could increase 10% to more, but I like to keep to 10% because it kind of keeps the ratio between your stake and your bank relatively close. It does creep up after a certain amount of time, but then the way I look at that is you should be better at doing what you do after 52 weeks. You should be better at selecting runners, and using your bank properly, so you will adjust to that. But it does creep up over time. It goes from it goes probably from 1% of your bank to probably about 6 to 8% of your bank after that 52 weeks. But you know, we are back in, and it should be usable if you get better at doing what you should be doing better. So that's it. So let's go back to the bot and let's do the setup on the bot. So stop at profit at the moment, I put it at 999 because I'm not stopping during the day or whenever. Stop at loss, I put £10 in there, but no reason for that really. But you know, obviously you want to stop the test at some stage. You can reset auto daily stop limits as well. I've left mine without reset because I just want to continually see what's happening day by day, so I can report on that. But if you wanted to reset daily, you can do it that way as well. I haven't bothered with these two, so they should be at 999 and 000, and both of these as well. Nothing else on that page has changed. It's really about stop at profit and stop at loss, and deciding what you want to do. Now if we go down to the stake percent of bank, I'm using stake percent of bank. So I'm using a session bank that I started at about £30, and I'm using 1% of that, so basically 30p stakes, which, you know, it's a test. I'm not really worried about it. So I'm using 1%. You could use target profit. Sorry, you could use starting price or stake. If you use starting price, you won't be able to do the price range if you decide to do that. And I'm not sure you can do, yeah, with starting price you can't do percentage of bank or anything like that, because it's got to be a stake. So whatever your stake is going to be, that's what it wants to be. So if you're going to start with £1 stakes or whatever, that would be the way you do it. And at the moment I've got trigger range set 1.210 is the lowest we can go in the bot at the moment, because of the under £1 now calculations. It's a little bit difficult when you're doing it automatically. So we've got a low limit of 1.10, which I don't mind. I don't really want to go on place runners under 1.10 anyway, so I don't mind sticking to that. So that's it basically. I'm not worried about favourites or not. I'm getting the selections from the bot link, and it will bet on them whatever they are. I am using staking now. I'm not suggesting in one moment that you use recovery staking in any way or form or whatever, because it is dangerous, and if you get it wrong you can lose more than you was expecting and all the rest of it. So don't do that unless you really know what you're doing. I'm just using up and down staking, and basically it keeps going up by your original stake. So if your original stake's £1, it will go £2, £3, £4, £5, £6, £7, whatever. And then as soon as you win, no matter what you win, it will go back down to £1. And I put a maximum staking tries of 6 on there, but I might put that up to 8 actually, because I get a feeling that 8 is probably where it's likely to be at some stage, but I don't know. You could do it with ignore race if PL not settled. Basically what happens there is if a selection comes up but the market before hasn't been settled, then it won't place a bet. That way, you know, your staking will stay in sync of what it should do, because if you don't tick that, which I haven't, if the bot would have won on the last one, but the results aren't in, the next stake will be even higher. So because it doesn't think it's won, or it will be the same as the stake before, because it's still looking at the last result it had, and it's going, well, I didn't win on that one, so I need to put the stake up by this amount. So that's the problem with doing it, and sometimes it works against you, sometimes it works for you, because you'll get 2 selections at the higher price and both of them win. So it kind of swings and roundabouts kind of thing. But yeah, so if you want to be sure, ignore race if PL is not settled is probably the better way to go. We're not trading, so we don't need anything there. The session, use session bank. I always suggest you use a part of your bank for the session. So in this case I'm using £30. I'm using sure odds, which means it will place a bet that guarantees I'll probably get matched at. So in this case it will, because we're backing on the place market, it will actually put a price, it will actually put a bet in at 1.10, because Betfair won't bet below your price. when you're backing, but it will bet above it because it thinks it's giving you a better price, but it won't bet below it. So basically what it does, it puts a bet in at 1.10 at your stake, and then Betfair will match your bet at whatever the price is at that moment in time. So that's the way we cover that. You could do it with wide odds as well, but I always use sure odds because it seems to be the best way to do it. I'm not going in play if I'm not matched before. I don't go in play with it. Don't need ladder stakes, don't need Dutching on runners or anything like that. So basically that's all you have to set up is basically stop profit and loss, your staking, and that's how I've got it set, and then your session. And then if you're going to use recovery staking, that's up to you. If you're doing it as a test, there's no real point in doing it. I just like to do it because it's, you know, something that we do, and it's a good way to test a bot and stuff like that. So whenever I set a test up, I'm always thinking about, well, are we testing something in the bot at the same time? And that's okay. So there's an OK button down here which you can click, and that will set it. So if you go OK. Okay, the last thing you want to do is take this link from TTS. Now remember, when you take the link, try to grab that from there to there without any spaces. So basically just click on it and go Control Copy, or Control C, or whatever you want to do. I tend to right click and go copy. I tend to like doing it that way. And then you go to the bot and you come up, and what you need to do is select session. Sorry, I'll do that again. Action, session, and then server tips. And then you get this window. You enable, put your link in there, so Control V or right click and paste into the box and go OK, and that's all you have to do. And then that's when the selections were automatically done. Now interestingly, I've done this video a little bit back to front because I forgot that to do that part of the video. So you can see now where I was saying earlier there were no selections, now there is a selection. So you can see that where I said that there were no selections in the bot, there actually is one now. And if I take you to Pas as well, you can see that selection is there ready to run. Okay, because it's a couple of minutes before that race, that will start the bot. And then you'd start the bot. Mine's already started. Make sure you remember to do that, because otherwise it won't do anything. And when you start, it should download all the selections for the day. Well, actually it probably won't, because what happens is, if you know anything about the price alerts software or those settings, and if we go back to TTS, I'll show you that actually. You'll see there's no selections at the moment, and the reason why is because the price movement is triggered by days. Now I can show you, it's triggered by time slots, and I think I can show you that. The price alert software is basically based on this page here, and the selections that we've just selected are based on this page here really. And this is available to both TTS and TTS Plus users as well. So you can look at the prices during the day. Now ignore that one at the moment. Basically it's just gone 10 in the morning, and the 10 AM price is in. Now this is where our arrows come from. So basically I just log how many arrows. So the 1 to 3 arrows is, this selection has got 1 to 3, this selection's got 1 to 3, that's got 2 to, and so on. And so a lot of the selections will have 1 to 3 arrows because they've been moving up and down basically in the morning. So we take the 6 AM price. If it's higher, it gets an arrow up. If it's the same, it just gets a square, and if it goes down, it gets an arrow down. So from the last price, so as you can see, it's gone down from the 7.6, then it stayed the same, and then it's gone up from 7.8. So basically that's the way it works. And then they're tracked all the way through the day. Now at 3 minutes before the off, this last price range here, then this score is created. Although this score is created during the day, and you will start getting selections nearer the off, the first race, where some of them are hitting 5 because they've, you know, come down all during the day, up to the race time. So that's when they start appearing. So before then the bot won't have any selections, and as you saw, there's no selections yet because none of the selections have got to 5 yet. So you can see here there's one at 3. If I'd have set it to a score of 3, then that selection would actually show up in the bot, and it's got 3 arrows, and so that's why it's got 3. But as the day goes on, somewhere along here it'd be able to get to 5. So if this one went 2 more time slots down, that would actually be 5, and then that would show up in the bot because it's got 3 arrows, and that score would now be 5. But that might change during the day. So the bot bets at 10 seconds before the off, because by that time this row will be, all these will be completed, and we will have that 5 or whatever the number is here. So we have the selections completed. Whereas if you went 10 minutes before the off, you would have missed 2 prices. So or maybe even 3, but 2 certainly, and so your score could be different to what it would be actually close, well, 3 minutes or just under 3 minutes before the off. So keep that in mind. But that's where the actual score comes from. So these basically these arrows get added up during the day, and that creates a score here. So that's basically how you set up TTS with the Greyhorse Bot. I'm sorry I got the session back to front, but I hope you kind of caught onto that anyway. And if you've been using the bot for any time at all, you'll know exactly how to do that. And there's plenty of videos in the members area on how to set it up anyway. Okay, well, thanks for watching. If you're on YouTube, please give me the thumbs up or subscribe to the channel. I will try to make more videos than I am at the moment, so if you can give me the thumbs up or subscribe to the channel, that would be great. And if you have any comments, then please leave them in the box below. But please remember that I have said that this is only 2 days into the test, and you know, it really was just to show you how to set the bot up, how the selections are created, that kind of thing. So that, you know, there's no point putting any comments that, oh, you've only got 2 days. I know I've only got 2 days, but that was the point. That was the idea behind it. So anyway, but any other comments are great. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.